Grand-grandfather lore. My grand-grandfather used to live, he lived in mountains. So fighting off invaders was a normal thing back then, but when it got even worse. One day my grand-grandfather heard that his cousin S got decapitated and put their heads on pikes. When he heard this, he got out, kidnapped two serfs and killed them. For that he got put to prison, held like an animal, and got released. Before all this happened, his sister got kidnapped during WW2 by Serbian partisans and never got back. Some creature. So a few days ago, my mother suddenly woke up in the middle of the night, and she had seen something in our living room. She tried to wake me up, but I was sound asleep. So she tried to wake my father up, but even he was in a deep sleep. The thing is that my father won't sleep that much. The slightest touch would wake him up. And after I wake up, she said that I told it's been there for a long time. The thing is that I never said that. Our house used to be in the outskirts of a forest, and our house was built under a snake's house. Please tell me if you know anything about this. BTW, this is real. My scariest dream yet. When I was like 10 years old, I would have constant dreams about this one guy, Zig. What was so special about him? But in every dream he would appear, so one time I confronted him. And then I woke up. And I didn't see him again for a while, but few months later, when I came back home from America to explain I'm Native American and got my face painted. I live in Australia. I had a dream where I was in my house with like 30 other people. When I looked out my windows and saw the man, but he was bald and in an orange jumpsuit. And every time I looked in his eyes, it felt like staring in the eyes of death himself. But he looked nervous when he looked at me, and he stayed away from me the entire dream, and ever since that dream, I haven't seen him. Does anyone know what this might mean? Rave to the grave. Who doesn't like a good party? Ever been to a rave before? Once you go, you fall in love or find out it isn't for you. When you fall for raves, you fall hard. The glowing sticks waving around, beautiful expressive clothing. Or hardly any. The glow and the dark lights, the drops. When the DJ has a sick beat you can lose yourself in. One carefree night at a time you can heal your inner child. I'm a seasoned vet who has gone to so many. But my favorite is the Halloween raves. They are so much fun with all the costumes. The venues are decorated in kind, all spooky and playfully scary. My friend and I were going to an intense techno event called Rave of the Damned, complete with vendors, body paint, multiple stages. It was going to be lit. We arrived at the warehouse at 10 p.m., all excited and dressed up. I was a rave fairy complete with iridescent wings. To our surprise, the line was so long, it felt like at least an hour had passed. Every minute creeping slowly by. Oddly enough, our fully charged phones were losing bad like mad. Finally, we were let in. And immediately, it looked like an awesome event. Something was off we couldn't quite shake. There was a strange egg smell in the air. The costumes were so elaborate you had to question if they were real. While I stood in line at the bar, waiting to order a drink, my friend Rose rushed up to me, clearly panicking. "Forget the drinks. We have to go," she stated urgently. "Go? We just got here," I said, feeling confused. She began to shake as she was cold and began to pull at my arm. "Where are we going?" "Just in the corner, you have to see, and you'll believe me," she nearly screamed. What the shit has gotten into her? Scanning the crowd at first glance, everything seemed fine. Head banging, playing with balloons and flow toys. Pretty normal stuff, but at a closer look it was macabre. The balloons they were playing with had a belly button and a skin tone. What fucking hell did we walk into? Among the dancers was one playing with a slimy, gross, long object. It was intestines she was pulling from her body and using as a space whip. No one cried in pain. It was like business as usual. To the left of the woman was a man participating in poi. The balls were not lead light-up balls, but dripping, beating hearts. I resisted the urge to scream and cry. Instead, I felt my friend's familiar tug at my arm. It was time to go. On the walls, I realized were human skeletons. I saw them on the way in, but I had thought they were just really realistic. More partygoers entered in red paint that stunk of iron. We got through the chaotic line finally outside and found ourselves somehow back in line, confused and scared no one would let us lead the line. They physically blocked our way. That's when the bounce spoke in the most ominous and chilling tone I have ever heard. It's like Hotel California. You can check out, but you can never leave. You bought the ticket, enjoy the ride. The teddy bear. About 6 or 7 years ago, horror videos were a viral thing back then. So just like everyone, I watched them on YouTube. And one of those horror videos were some with teddy bears, which I found interesting back then. So the thing is, you get a teddy bear or whatever doll you want, leave it at a place. And when you wake up, you'll find that the doll is missing and you will find it somewhere else. And I tried it, left the bear on the stairs of my house, and then woke up to find that the bear wasn't there and was in different room. Of course, that scared me back then, but now it's just a thing. Not to be scared of.